All right, folks, we're here today. We're working on the 2000 Honda CRV with the B20Z engine. And we're back. This is the same one that we had once before where we had to redo the head gasket, and we swapped over from an MLS head gasket, had the head remilled at a different shop, and we used a graphite head gasket the second time around. But anyway, everything's fine with that repair. Just check the coolant level. The coolant level was right up at the neck, just a hair off. So I just took a little water out of the overflow tank and topped it off here. So we're good on that. Problem we've been having here lately is that the air conditioner compressor clutch has been cycling on and off. I mean, like 1 second apart, you know, a half a second apart. It's click on, click off, click on, click off, click on, click off. And so what I did is before I started the vehicle, I you know, it was about 90 degrees on the fittings out here, and if you see on these gauges, 90 degrees correspond, or 92 degrees. It was right over here in this area on both sides, you know, which was a good thing. It's raising and falling now, but right now the car has been off, I don't know, roughly 3 minutes, and to me it seems like these high and low pressure sides should have already equalized by now, so we may have an issue there with the expansion valve. But you know, while it's on, before you rev it up, it cools fine. It you know, the low side runs at about 38 on the low side, but the high side was going all the way up to like 350, and when I revved it up, the high side went up to 400, then 450, then it started approaching 500. So I let off the throttle cable, and it starts cycling on and off again. So what I did before I actually started it up today, if you can see down in here, let me see if I can get a shot without having to get a light for you. Right there where my fingertip is, in the center through those hoses. See, can I get in a little more? Anyway, the pressure switch, if you see down here, the low pressure switch right there where my finger is, I took it off and I hooked the meter to it, and it's about 1.5 ohms, you know, which showed me that it had continuity, you know, with the pressures that were in there. I also went to the high side line, which you see me have probed now, and I actually have it back probed. So can I zoom in right there? If you see, I have it back probed a little bit, but it's at 1.5 ohms. But what happens is when these pressures get so high, you know, when it started approaching, you know, all up over here, then the safety of that high pressure switch cycles the compressor off. And I looked at the meter, and the meter had lost continuity, you know, so I guess that's why the compressor was cycling on and off. Maybe because the low side was still good, but the high side kept cutting it off. But anyway, it's leading me to we definitely got to do some servicing on this AC. This is a 2000, and this is July 2022. And like I said, before we, you know, last time I charged this AC a month ago, you know, I had the internal vent temperatures, the center temperature I don't know, 40 degrees or so. So it cools really well at times, but what happens is for some reason it's building up a restriction. So we probably need to do some service and maybe flush out the system. So I'm gonna recommend that we probably do a receiver dryer. Not so concerned about the switches now, because the switches are doing their jobs. But we probably try to replace the receiver dryer. I'm thinking of maybe seeing if customer wants to actually get a compressor. Maybe if we can find the whole compressor kit, because what was happening is that as I was revving it up, the pressures was sitting up at about, like I said, 3840, and then it started creeping on up to about 50 whenever the high side pressure got so high. But whenever I revved it up, the low side pressure started creeping back this way towards 2520. You know, then when I let up off of it, it'll shoot back up real quick. Then I rev it up again and it'll come over. So, you know, I'm thinking that, you know, the compressor or the control valve is going, you know, either or, maybe both. Maybe it's just a control valve. I don't know about this compressor. I've never done one on this particular vehicle. But anyway, I'm almost done with my diagnosis. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start back up, and it'll be a little loud, but I just want you to see. And like I said, you know, you see I've been here talking about 6 minutes now, and this thing still hadn't dropped over. So maybe it even needs an expansion valve replaced, or I don't think this has an orifice tube. I think it's an expansion valve, and I think it's one of those ones where it's not on the outside, it's actually on the inside, attached to the base of the evaporator. So we may have to remove the part of the dash or a good portion of it in order to get access to the evaporator. But the good thing is that it holds vacuum currently, so all of the gaskets and seals are good, the hoses are good. I think we're just having some high side issues, you know, possibly compressor. If we can get everything in a kit for a good price, I think I may recommend that. But I'm gonna pause this for right now and start it up, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. We have the vehicle started, and as you see, the pressures still hadn't equalized yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and switch the AC button on in the inside just so I can show you what's going on. Maybe even take some temperature readings. But as you see, we currently have continuity on the high pressure switch down there. See if I can get a light on it. Okay. Yeah, we have the little back probes pin set. I love that thing. I've been needing one all my life. Finally found one for 20 bucks. But anyway, let's hit the AC button and see what we get. Okay, so now it's not doing it yet. And being as, you know, it seems like the low pressure should really be dropping lower a lot quicker than that. That's making me really think that this compressor is about gone. So I'll at least you know, say that we need a compressor and possibly another receiver dryer. But as you see right now, and the charge amount is perfect. You know, the charge amount is where it needs to be as far as the level of Freon or level of R134A. But look at my high side. I don't think that high side should be quite that high. You know, I think I was looking at a couple of videos by some of the pros, and they were saying maybe 4 times a little bit over 4 times the amount of the low side pressure. So that right there is really making me think that this thing really needs a compressor. And it's still idling nice and smooth right now, but let me show you what it does whenever we rev it up. If I can reach this thing and okay, now we're revving up. See how my pressure is dropping? Look at my high side. Now watch when I let off the accelerator. Click, 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 click. It's clicking. You hear it? Now look at my meter. So that's what's happening. I don't know if you've ever had this problem before. Let me hit the AC switch. And if and the vent temperature is nice and cool. You know, not like ice cold like a perfectly operating system, but it's enough cool, you know, especially if the car was moving with extra air coming across the condenser coil. So I'm gonna cut the AC button off, and now she gets back to a smooth idle, but it affects the idle really bad. You know, I swapped around the relays to make sure I didn't have any relays, you know, acting up or whatever, but I'm pretty much thinking, you know, a compressor. And like I said, you know, look how slow, you know, the pressure's reacting. You know, I'm used to hearing psss, you know, the pressure's equalizing, and it's just taking a while to equalize now. But anyway, I'm gonna recommend replacing a receiver dryer, maybe flushing the system out, possibly an expansion valve. You know, being that you know, this person is somebody I hold dear to me, you know, I may charge it up, see how a new compressor and receiver dryer works, and if it's still slow to equalize the pressures, then I may, you know, hey, let's replace the expansion valve also. But anyway, if you're having this problem, that may be your possible solution. I will post updates once we make the necessary repairs. Anyway, have a nice day. Thank you.